without further ado, I think in the first series, I think what I'll talk about is Lakers versus the Rockets, and this is the semis that is the most intriguing to me so far because I feel like the Rockets team is like the most interesting like team you can put against the Lakers because in my opinion the Rockets are like a bad matchup for the Lakers in a way where these guys are going full out all analytics and they're playing like all out, all in, chips in. We're going mathematics on this, on this basketball activity stuff. And then you got, naysayers who are saying, Anthony Davis is going to average 50 on these guys, on PJ Tucker. And, that was never the case, in my opinion. Like, for me, like, Anthony Davis has always been, he's not this kind of post heavy, big. He's more of like a perimeter centric big where this dude loves ISO, and do fadeaways and stuff. Like, he wants to pretend he's like a guard, Anthony Davis grew up playing a guard and then he grew, 7 inches and now he's like almost 7 foot, right? Basically that. And, you see it in his play. Like, that's why Anthony Davis is so skillful on the perimeter. He can handle the ball. He can shoot the three, shoot the mid range. He can do a lot of things offensively, a lot of guard play in his play style. And, the Lakers right now are pretty struggling when it comes to the 3-point line. While in regards to the Rockets, right, where they just shoot a bunch of threes, like they don't care, right? That's basically shoot a three or lay it up. And
change the game.
Execution. That was a good job of executing.
Down the stretch, you and Serge seem to be in a really great rhythm. What allowed you guys to be so successful?
Did a good job of execution.
And that volatile play can work or it can really hurt them. I mean, it really hurt them in the OKC, playoff series where I thought that the Rockets should have beat them in 6, but they beat them in 7. And James Harden had that disappearing act where I thought to myself, dude, it's like been like 8 minutes since James Harden's been in the fourth quarter. The only thing he did was a layup, right? Previously to that block he had on Dort, the only thing he did offensively was a layup. He just kept on passing and deferring, and he was 4 for 15. Russell Westbrook was pretty bad too. I mean, I'm like, dude, like, you guys are lucky that Covington and Eric Gordon like bailed you guys out, right? And even just seeing their last possession, like they really squeaked by OKC. Like, this shows that Billy Donovan is so trash, man. And the decision to have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, inbound, and he didn't really know what to do because this is his first playoff series. And pressure comes down to down to the wire, and he I guess he hit the wrong pass, and it was all she wrote from there. But I mean, just by going back to that Covington play, right? When Covington got the inbound, he should have just shot the ball. Like, why even take the chance of, making the free throws when it's like a down to a 1 possession game? And all he had to do was get the inbound, then do a fadeaway and just shoot up in the air. Like, it doesn't matter the outcome. You just burn the time and you win, basically. And he didn't do it. And he went to the free throw line. He missed one of them. That was some choke city stuff. So the Rockets got squeaked by, but just by judging this round now, right, where you have Harden drop like 36, I think, something like it was like above 35, and you got these dudes came to play. Like, first of all, you can't have the same rebounding total as the Rockets, right? Like the Rockets, PJ Tucker is like what 6'8", 6'8", 6'7", like that sort. And Lakers have all these bigs so far, and they can't out rebound the Rockets. Like that's a problem right there. Like this Rocket team has a great chance of making the playoffs, the finals. Like they're that volatile where they either implode or shine bright and burn a hole through the other team basically with their 3-point barrage. And that's basically the case. Like they're going all out. Can the other team keep up or lock them down? Like who knows? Like we'll see. But my prediction so far is Lakers in 7. Originally, I thought Lakers in 5 because this Rockets team is pretty weak in the sense that they're not really, when the pressure's on the line, these dudes choke. And maybe it's due to the pressure of facing the jitters of facing OKC, Russell Westbrook facing his former team. Maybe it's jitters from fucking Harden where he's facing CP3. He's the reason why CP3 got bounced out to Houston. It's a lot of pressure going on, and who knows what's gonna happen so far. But the Rock is a really bad matchup. You put Anthony Davis, you put Dwight Howard in, you put JaVale. Good. Rockets just outrun them, right? They have Westbrook taking the fast break, Eric Gordon driving it in. Every single possession. James Harden drive it in. It doesn't really matter. Like they have Austin River. Like a lot of people like penetrating the paint right now. Lakers just showing no perimeter centric defense whatsoever. When they have all their guards penetrating the paint, and then when Anthony Davis comes in, like pass out, like, or they continue to attack it, like with floaters and stuff. Like Eric Gordon's going in. James Harden, Westbrook, like, just on the base of that, like, this is where it becomes really interesting. Like the Rockets would rather play the Lakers than the Clippers because the Clippers are just built to stop the Rockets, right? Well, the Lakers, like, who they got besides LeBron and Anthony Davis? And when you give to Anthony Davis, just double team him, like what they've done. Basically, they have him pass up. There's just the one play where they double Anthony Davis and Eric Gordon just stripped him. Like, and there's that. Like, come on, man. You gotta show some more heart than that. Like, you got like players like 3 to 4 inches shorter than you, and you can't do anything whatsoever. Like, come on. But the Lakers side, they have LeBron James, and we'll see what LeBron does. It's pretty disappointing to see LeBron James and Anthony Davis struggle in the fourth quarter. Even though you can make a case that the Rockets, switching defense, it is the number one efficient defense so far in the bubble, and they're pretty elite right now. So they have Westbrook, Harden playing pretty good in the paint when it comes to defense. Covington's always been solid. Eric Gordon all of a sudden has looked great on defense. Like this Rocket team. Like, yeah, give him credit where credit's due. And it looks like trouble for the Lakers so far. But once game 2 happens, which is, I think it's today, as we can record on Sunday, we'll see the better case so far of what's going to happen. And we'll see how they adjust. Rondo looked terrible. For everyone who said that playoff Rondo's would come, playoff Rondo that showed up was like, 3 years ago against the Portland team. And he had Jrue Holiday and Anthony Davis balling out, so it made his job way easier. But this Rondo is coming from injury. He's his footwork. He's just slipping left and right and stuff. I mean, it's ridiculous so far. And, some of the Lakers shooting droughts get kind of cringy sometimes. Like ugh, like you have Danny Green, you have Casey Poop, yeah, Kuzma like shooting like these bricks. I'm like ugh, like what is going on here? Like you might as well just keep on driving it in because that's where the Rockets were struggling. It's okay, see there, like you have Chris Paul, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander driving it in, and they couldn't really do much. PJ Tucker's not really that kind of contending big. Obviously, he's a short, power forward. So, take advantage of that. I mean, from what I've seen, LeBron James should have a great series like right now. I mean, these dudes can't guard LeBron James, but Eric Gordon is doing pretty good on LeBron James. So this is probably the most interesting semi so far. I mean, you would think, right? It'd be the most interesting compared to the others. I mean, who would have known that the Heat would be 3-up against the Bucks and they're about to sweep them today? Who would have thought? Who would have thought that the Celtics should have been up 3-zip as well against the Raptors, but now they're like 2-2. So momentum is back for the Raptors, and it's gonna be wild so far. Clippers and Nuggets. Probably talk about that later. Clippers are like 1-1 right now. So overall, I still think the Lakers should come out top, but this is the team that they probably didn't want to face because this team doesn't really care when it comes to your play style. You play big, good. You're like, okay, fine, and we free corner threes for PJ Tucker, free threes and stuff. Like, oh, you want to get the rebound? Go for it. We'll get the rebound and just pass it down fast break. You better keep up, old man, because the Lakers are the oldest team, I believe, like their average age, and let's see them Rockets wear them out, and it's off to the races. But so far from what I've seen, Lakers at 7. I could be wrong, but the Rockets do have the highest chance of upsetting the Lakers. I'm not saying chance to beat them, but they have the highest chance of upsetting in regards to compared to like Portland or OKC. They are the team that they're the team that holds destiny in their hands so far. So we'll see.